Welcome to Final Score, the penultimate weekend of the season. As you'd expect, drama and tension is the order of the day, and that's just Garth. Crooksy and Keown have been yelping, leaping out of their seats all afternoon. It really has been one to savour. We're going to hear from them in a moment, but let's get the latest from the big matches which kicked off at 3 o'clock today. Nowhere else to start but the City of Manchester Stadium. Damian Johnson is there for a match, and, well, the loser can go home. They can leave the Champions League race, perhaps.
Well, Manchester City have a precious advantage in the race for fourth place, Gabby, after coming from behind. John Carew gave Villa the lead, firing past a nervous-looking Martin Fulop on his debut in City's goal. Carlos Tevez equalised from the spot after Warnock felled the impressive Adam Johnson. Johnson set up Adebayor to make it 2-1. It's been mainly City in the second half. Villa keeper Brad Friedel's been in excellent form to keep the home side out. It's City 2, Villa 1.
Let's go to White Hart Lane. Tottenham, of course, in that fourth place. It's going well for them at the moment, but not without a challenge from Bolton. David Garrido.
Absolutely right, Gabby. Yes, Spurs 1, Bolton 0. Now, if you want to see how to hit a football with the laces, then do watch Match of the Day tonight. A strike, you will not see a cleaner strike this afternoon. The ball laid off by Benoit Asukotu, and it was a blistering effort from Tom Huddleston into the top right-hand corner just before half-time. That's why Spurs had the lead. It was quite an incredible hit. Since then, chances for Jermaine Defoe cutting in from the left, firing just wide. Gareth Bale also threw on goal, but denied by Jussi Jääskeläinen. But yes, Bolton have had their opportunities to equalise. 2 for Matty Taylor, and one which forced a save from Aurelio Gomez, the other cleared by Yunus Kabul. And an interesting substitution now. Off comes David Bentley, and on comes Aaron Lennon for his one of his first appearances in 2010. He came on as a sub in their last game against Manchester United, and he's on again here. Spurs 1, Bolton 0.
Interesting for Spurs, interesting for England. Also, good news for England is the performance of the Portsmouth keeper this afternoon at Fratton Park. And since we've come on air and transferred from the red button, Andy Barwell, you've got another goal to tell us about.
Yes, David James has been in excellent form. It's going to be Portsmouth's last Premier League game at Fratton Park after 7 years in the top flight. And they look like going out on a high. They're 3-1 ahead against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Portsmouth took the lead through Aruna Dindan's uncontested header. Kevin Doyle leveled it up for Wolves after the home side never cleared the ball. John Utaga with a well-taken goal restored Portsmouth's advantage. And then Michael Brown's just got Pompey's third. It looked like Marcus Hanneman had it covered, but it went under his hand. It's Portsmouth 3, Wolves 1.
And the only game so far in the Premier League today without a goal is at the Britannia Stadium. Ivan Gasper's had the honour of watching this one.
Dubious honour, 0-0, 17 to go. Again, best summed up in 2 words: deeply average. Everton with the only real chance in the first half. Baines' drive blocked by his teammate Alajabi. Yes, it's been that kind of game. It flew goalward, but it hit him on the back. The game's best move spoiled when Stoke's Rory Delap steered a glorious second half chance wide from a dozen yards. It was easier to hit the target. A game also summed up very accurately by its scoreline, 0-0.
Thank you, Ivan. Well, the early kick-off was at St Andrews, Birmingham hosting Burnley. Aldershot's chances of a playoff place in League Two looking good. Dean Morgan on 73 minutes, putting them 2-1 up against Lincoln City. And Kilmarnock's survival chances not looking the best at the moment because St Johnstone have taken the lead 2-1 there. Colin Samuel with the goal. Let's talk about what we've seen in the Premier League this afternoon. As we've said, the game of the day is at the City of Manchester Stadium, and let's talk about the goalkeeper, Martin Fulop, first of all.
Well, he started very nervously, very, very nervously. I mean, I don't know about the back four at Man City, but we were very nervous for him. But he's recovered in the second half, and he seems much more assured. City, I think, have taken a deserved lead. Carew got the first one for Villa. Adebayor, certainly, and Tevez penalty. Tevez's penalty was a pressure penalty, but he handled it very, very well.
If the loser is Aston Villa, that's them out of that fourth place race now, Martin.
Very much so, but this second half, Martin O'Neill clearly got into his players at half-time. Man City now really under pressure, look very nervy at the back, sitting off, bags of space. It could go either way even now, even though they're still winning 2-1 Man City, but very
Tottenham
tense.
only winning 1-0. I'm nervous for them at the moment because obviously that big game on Wednesday between Tottenham and Manchester City at the City of Manchester Stadium.
This is an excellent contest. I mean, Bolton have come to White Hart Lane and they've given Spurs a real game, good test. Huddleston's goal is the best goal I've seen of the season, technically. He hits it first time, it's coming across him, and there's no margin for error. It's a fabulous goal, technically, it really is.
OK, let's focus on events in League One. A fascinating promotion race going on there. But it's also a battle of relegation and promotion issues at Prenton Park. And Alan Biggs can tell us what's happening there.
Well, it's relegation threatened Tranmere 2, promotion hopefuls Millwall 0. Millwall, they've scored some important late goals recently. They need another today, if not 3 of them, because despite having dominated possession, Millwall have been completely stifled by Tranmere's equally desperate need of the points. For once, Morrison and Harris have left their shooting boots back in London, and Tranmere have caught them twice, first with a debatable penalty on the stroke of half-time, forced by their captain and leading scorer, Ian Thomas-Moore, and scored by Thomas-Moore. But the biggest story surrounds the second goal, a brilliant 25-yard strike from who else but Andy Robinson, who's on loan with Tranmere from, of all clubs, Leeds United. I don't think Robinson will struggle with his wages this month, and he's since come close to another from even further out. It's desperate for Millwall. They trail 2-0.
And all that, very simply, which is very rare today, means that Leeds need a goal. They win at the Valley and they're up. John Anderson, I imagine the atmosphere there at the moment is electric.
Well, it's very, very tense, and not least because the Leeds fans are chewing their fingernails a little bit because Charlton are enjoying a very good spell in the second half. Akpo Soji, one of 3 substitutes brought on by Phil Parkinson, had a header saved by Shane Higgs. Then Lloyd Sam with a run and a fierce shot which whizzed over the crossbar. The best chance of all, though, falling to Sam Sodja, the big defender, following a corner, heading over the crossbar. But Leeds on the bench had a 30-goal striker, and Jermaine Beckford, who's been so crucial and so talismanic for them this season, has been unleashed into the fray in the hope that he can add to his tally and get a goal which could, just could, by the end of this afternoon, put Leeds into the Championship. But at the moment, they're hanging on a little. It's 0-0.
Celtic have doubled their tally. Darren O'Dea there on 78 minutes. They're leading Motherwell by 2-0. Let's go to the county ground now. Another side in that League One excitement at the top of League One of Swindon. Hamish Marshall's watching their match against Brentford.
Well, they're leading this game by 3-2, and their automatic promotion hopes depend on wins in their last 2 matches and results elsewhere going their way, which so far today they are. They're doing their bit here. Just 2 goals from Billy Painter, taking his tally to the season to 28. Had them 3-1 in front, but Brentford, who are unbeaten in 11, pulled a goal back through Ben Strevens. Now, goal-scoring find of the season, Charlie Austin. He's just come on for Swindon. He was one of 3 players rested today, ahead of what manager Danny Wilson really expects to be a playoff campaign, but they're still in with a chance of automatic promotion. They lead 3-2.
Well, they're a team looking for glory, but at the bottom of the division, 2 teams looking to stay in at the Matchroom Stadium. There's been a goal. Alex Gordon-Martin.
There has indeed, Gabby, and it's gone to Leyton Orient. Ryan Jarvis could well have just scored the goal that sent Wickham down. He raced clear and drilled left-footed past the despairing dive of Tom Heaton, who had no chance whatsoever. It's desperation time for Wickham with barely 10-12 minutes left. 1-0 Leyton Orient.
They would be down. Let's go to Priestfield Stadium now. Lindsay Hooper's watching Gillingham, who at the moment are surviving.
They are just about, Gabby, although they're looking a bit nervous now. Gillingham 2, Southampton 1 is the score as it stands. Gillingham, who've played the better football here for about 60 minutes. Southampton now taking charge since that goal from David Connolly on the 65th minute. That was some confusion in defence, and he managed to steal the ball and took away. But all Gillingham before that. Simeon Jackson is really hard done by here not to have a goal to his name, but Rennie Howe, after Simeon Jackson had some great strength work, managing to hold off a defender, managed to pick up a ball and score first. Josh Gowling with the second for Gillingham, but now they're starting to look a bit nervous. A 2-0 cushion would have been great, but 2-1, they're starting to get some flutters. Gillingham 2, Saints 1.
So Tranmere, Gillingham, Orient, all winning at the moment. Sandwiched in between them at Exeter. They're at Victoria Park this afternoon. How are they getting on, Steve Sutton?
Well, they were winning 1-0, Gabby, but Hartlepool have equalised in the last couple of minutes. 2 substitutes for Hartlepool instrumental in the goal. Adam Boyd with a cross from the right. Dennis Behan, not sure what sort of contact he got, whether it was his chest or his thigh. He won't mind. It's Hartlepool 1, Exeter 1.
Have got a goal back against Rangers this afternoon, and Bournemouth promoted, of course, already. Their party in full swing. They're 3-0 winning at the moment against Port Vale. Let's go to the very bottom of League Two, though, to Blundell Park, where Grimsby are hanging on to their league status at the moment. Naz Premji, how's it going?
They certainly are hanging on. It's a time when heroes are needed, and one stepped up in the form of centre-half Rob Atkinson, found himself in the box, chested the ball and nonchalantly volleyed past Cole in the Barnet net. That's the goal that separates these two sides. It's a goal that could keep Grimsby in the Football League for another week at least. At the other end, Nick Colgan, he's produced stop and block after block, keeping Barnet at bay. It's, as you say, squeaky bum time. Grimsby Town 1, Barnet 0.
I didn't say that, you said that. What an exciting final weekend there we might be having at the bottom of League Two. Burton are at home to Grimsby, so Grimsby go to Burton on the final day, and it's Barnet at home to Rochdale. It could all come down to those fixtures. Let's go to Andrew James, who's at the Coral Windows Stadium. A day of remembrance there for Bradford City, 25 years since the Bradford fire. How's it going for them on the pitch, Andrew?
Well, on the pitch, Gabby, it's going well for Bradford City. 12,403 fans here today to pay their respects to those events 25 years ago. And 25 years on, their team looks fresh under manager Peter Taylor, who signed a new contract yesterday. They got a first-half lead through Gareth Evans. But Northampton had Dean Beckworth sent off for fouling, and he was the last man shown a straight red card. Northampton have sent on 3 players, a triple substitution. If they could throw the kitchen sink at Bradford's goal, they would do. But at the moment, they're still trailing by 1-0.
Let's go to the recreation ground now. Aldershot in the playoff places up against Lincoln City. Mark Bishop's watching this one.
Aldershot Town 3, Lincoln City 1, Gabby. Terrific fight back from Kevin Dillon's side, who trailed against the run of play, remember, to a David Sommer strike. The shots then equalised. Marvin Morgan from close range. Dean Morgan then embarked on a terrific 30-yard solo run before smashing the ball past Lincoln keeper Robert Birch. 2-1 Aldershot, and then Marvin Morgan, a tale of the Morgans here, made it a brace with a towering header from a Donnelly corner. 4,506 at the Rec, Aldershot's biggest home crowd of the season. Aldershot 3, Lincoln City 1.
Staying in League Two, and Dagenham and Redbridge have been in and out of the playoff places this afternoon as results have changed. Let's go to Victoria Road and speak to Andy May, who can tell us how things stand at the moment there.
As things stand, they're out of the playoff places. It's 1 apiece, with both goals coming from these two sides' top scorers. Just before half-time, Paul Benson fired into the middle of the goal. He's wearing a Zorro-esque mask this afternoon after breaking his nose. Mark Pugh ran in at the far post to slide home his 12th Hereford goal this season. Dagenham were dominating at the start of this second half, but it's now level 1-1.
Well, with the SPL title all wrapped up by Rangers last week, we're focusing on the battles to stay in the SPL, and Brian McLaughlin is at one of those battlegrounds now at the Falkirk Stadium. They're playing St Mirren this afternoon, and hope springs eternal.
It certainly does, and they lead by 1-0. Just 7 minutes left on the clock. Scott Arfield scoring from the penalty spot just a minute before the break. Saints defender Chris Innes also shown a red card in the incident leading up to that penalty. St Mirren very close to an equaliser. Top goal scorer Billy Mehmet found space on the edge of the 18-yard box and fired in a shot that was narrowly past the right-hand post of Bobby Olesnik. St Mirren throwing everything at this Falkirk goal, but just can't get beyond a stalwart Falkirk defence. Just 6.5 minutes left here. Falkirk 1, St Mirren 0.
We'll hear from Kilmarnock in just a moment, but first of all, let's go to the Coral Windows Stadium. There's been a goal. Andrew James can tell us who's got it.
And it looks as if Northampton's playoffs hopes are all but over, Gabby. It's a second goal for Gareth Evans, his 11th of the season. Marvellous strike. Adam Boulder broke away down the right-hand side, delayed his cross, picked out Evans, and acrobatically he put the ball past Jason Steele. It's Bradford City 2, Northampton 0.
And as I promised, let's check in on Kilmarnock. They're playing St Johnstone at Rugby Park this afternoon, and Ian Turner's watching for us.
It's Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 2, and with 4 minutes left, Kilmarnock in big trouble now. As things stand at the moment, they're going to be 2 points adrift at the foot of the table by 5 o'clock. Colin Samuel skillfully volleyed Saints in front a short time ago to complete their comeback after Fraser Wright had nodded Kelly in front. A goal cancelled out by Kenny Duker before half-time. Cheers round the stadium here. I just wonder if there's been an equaliser at Falkirk Stadium, but here, Killie 1, St Johnstone 2.
It's not because the pies have been reduced in price, I can tell you. Let's go to the Falkirk Stadium and get confirmation of that from Brian McLaughlin.
There has been an equaliser for St Mirren, and it was Stephen O'Donnell, the scorer. The ball floated into the box, knocked backwards by Billy Mehmet, and Stephen O'Donnell was all alone to knock the ball into the back of the net. It's been a pitch invasion by the Saints fans. The advertising hoardings are lying in a heap behind the Falkirk goal here. We've now just 5 minutes left. It's Falkirk 1, St Mirren 1.
And I can tell you that Celtic have got a third goal. James Forrest there on 87 minutes against Motherwell. Of course, they're guaranteed to finish second in the league after Rangers won their 53rd title last weekend. And Bournemouth's party going very well indeed. They're now 4-0 up against Port Vale. But let's go to the City of Manchester Stadium. It's still 2-1. Damien Johnson, any signs of a Villa equaliser?
Well, there are, because City's goal is under real pressure here, Gabby. We've seen two fine clearing headers from Kolo Touré, the City captain. Fulop's just punched a Milner corner clear. The Villa manager, Martin O'Neill, has thrown the dice. He's thrown on Delfonso and Heskey. Adam Johnson's departed for City to a standing ovation in front of England assistant coach Stuart Pearce. He's been excellent for them. Sean Wright-Phillips is on in his place. Another change now. Richards will come on for Carlos Tevez, one of the City goal scorers. 2 or 3 minutes remaining. City lead 2-1.
Let's go to White Hart Lane. David Garrido, I just need to take a breath. This is all getting so exciting. How are Bolton getting on there? Last time I heard they were making a bit of a challenge of it.
Yeah, they haven't given up at all, Gabby. In fact, Matt Taylor has just teed himself up for a left-foot volley on the edge of the box. Struck it very well, but Spurs keeper Heredia Gomez watched it all the way to keep it out. He has had another excellent game in nets for Tottenham, but the home side with plenty of chances to try and get a second goal, which you feel would seal the points here. A long cross ball to Gareth Bale on the left-hand side. He was right on the touchline, Gabby, and he volleyed it across goal, and Roman Pavlyuchenko slid in but couldn't quite make contact. That proof of just how confident Bale is at the moment. Peter Crouch has also had a header cleared off the line by Chung Yong Lee. Tottenham have another couple of minutes to see out here. It's Spurs 1, Bolton 0.
Well, if Leeds United do get promotion this season, they've made really hard work of it, haven't they, John Anderson? They're at the Valley this afternoon. All they need is a goal, and they're promoted. Do they know that?
They don't seem to at the moment, although Jermaine Beckford was close to getting one a moment ago. The ball was played long across field as Charlton have an attack. Now it's Akpo Sodra, it's into the net! Charlton Athletic have scored with 3 minutes left, and Leeds fans stand in utter silence at the other end of the ground as the Charlton players celebrate. The ball played in from the right-hand side. Akpo Sodja with a header, a Leeds defender in a bid to clear it could only head it into the roof of the net. And Leeds' dreams of clinching promotion today lie in tatters at the Valley. It's Charlton 1, Leeds United 0.
Ironically, that doesn't change anything at the top because Millwall are also losing, remember. Let's go to the City of Manchester Stadium. There's been a goal. Will this change the race for fourth place? Damien Johnson.
A clinching goal for Craig Bellamy has given City all 3 points and a vital advantage in the race for fourth place. They've had to withstand a storm here because Villa have really pressed them in the second half. They broke through Sean Wright-Phillips, a substitute. He found Bellamy and he curled the ball beautifully into the top corner. It's City 3, Villa 1.
Effectively, that ends Villa's hopes of fourth place this season, Martin.
Well, it does, and really, Villa just raining crosses in on Man City's goal, and then a breakaway goal from Sean Wright-Phillips, plays it back to Bellamy, and Bellamy does the rest. And really, this has been the best game I think I've seen for a while. I mean, it's an outstanding football being played, and Villa now still not giving up the chase. But Man City surely will win it now.
It was really interesting, Gabby, at that stage, because at that moment, Man City looked a little desperate.
Yeah.
And they were throwing bodies and trying to defend everything that was moving. They get the break. It's great stuff by the substitute, Sean Wright-Phillips. Mancini must take the credit for that.
OK, Tom Huddleston goal is all that separates Tottenham and Bolton at White Hart Lane, and they're in injury time. David Garrido.
Yes, I think Spurs now can sense that the points are theirs. Bolton look tired, just looking across at Gary Cahill, who's got his hands on his knees, having a chat with Zat Knight. They've given as much as they possibly could have done this afternoon, and Spurs are just taking a bit of extra time. They made a final substitution. Good Johnson is on for Roman Pavlyuchenko, just taking a little bit of a break here as one of the Spurs players on the far side of the pitch receives a little bit of treatment. I think it's Heredia Gomez who went up for an aerial challenge, trying to claim the ball from a long crossfield ball, and he's just standing up gingerly, so he looks like he's okay, but the Spurs fans are certainly in good voice here this afternoon. They know they are just effectively now 4 points away from that fourth Champions League spot. If they seal the points here this afternoon, that would leave them needing just a draw and a win against Burnley and Manchester City in the northwest to make sure they have Champions League football here next season. Spurs 1, Bolton 0, into injury time, as you say.
Robbie Keane in injury time got Celtic their 4th goal against Motherwell. Let's go to the county ground, a match affecting the top of League One. Swindon at home to Brentford, and Hamish Marshall's watching their battle.
Yeah, Swindon leading by 3 goals to 2 still. We've officially got 15 seconds of this game to go, but we're going to have much more because Brentford defender Pim Balkestein has had 5 minutes of treatment on the ground. He's about to be stretchered off, and so there's going to be a long delay here. And while the players have been doing nothing, the massive cheer, because that goal against Leeds for Charlton is great news for Swindon if they can hang on and those other results stay the same. Swindon still leading 3-2.
And you can see that Leeds, Millwall, Swindon and Charlton all with the hope of that automatic promotion spot. And it's Millwall-Swindon next weekend as well. Leeds are at home to Bristol Rovers. What a final weekend, and you can enjoy it here with us on Final Score, of course, next Saturday. But let's, from the ecstasy, experience a bit of potential agony at Blundell Park. Grimsby hanging on by the tips of their fingers to their league status. Naz Premji, you're there. Tell us more.
Grimsby Town 1, Barnet 0. We are into the 2nd minute of 5 minutes of stoppage time. This victory would take it to a final weekend shootout. They are very nervous here. 7,033, the majority of them are Mariners fans. The game continues. Barnet have thrown absolutely everything at Grimsby today. They have been superb. Rob Atkinson's goal could well be enough. We're at injury time. It's Grimsby Town 1, Barnet 0.
A reminder, Grimsby are at Burton and Barnet home to Rochdale next weekend. Let's go to the City of Manchester Stadium. Damien Johnson. Let's go to Blundell Park now. Some scenes on the pitch that we might not really enjoy, although the goal that has precipitated those, Naz Premji, will be enjoyed.
The goal certainly was enjoyed. There was a pitch invasion that followed it. Mark Hudson has made it Grimsby Town 2, Barnet 0, who raced clear down the right-hand side and slotted the ball past Jake Cole in the Barnet goal. The place just erupted. The pitch was invaded. The stewards and the police are doing all they can. We were into the 3rd minute of injury time here, and finally order is restored and Barnet can get the game underway for the next 2 minutes. But Grimsby look like they're taking their survival scrap into a final weekend shootout at Burton.
This was a real potential hiccup for Tottenham. They'd lost to teams they should have beaten at White Hart Lane this season. David Garrido, the nerves stadium, being the pitch with a reason, Naz Premji at Blundell Park, because incredibly, they live to fight another day. There's still a point between them, but we're all going down to the final weekend to see if Grimsby can hang on to their 99-year Football League status.
Unbelievable scenes, Gabby. Unbelievable game, unbelievable atmosphere. Grimsby Town 2, Barnet 0. The Mariners are safe and sail on to a final weekend voyage in a bid to secure league survival. It all comes down to their last game at Burton. They need to win and hope Barnet slip up again against Rochdale. The win came courtesy of 2 great goals. One from a centre-half who chested the ball down in the area and volleyed past Cole. It was Rob Atkinson, that centre-half, on the hour mark. And then 2 minutes into injury time, Mark Hudson suddenly found himself free on the right-hand side. He ran 40 or 50 yards, edge of the area, and then planted the ball past Cole to make it 2-0. It's Grimsby Town 2, Barnet 0. That's how it's finished, and there is hope yet for the survival mission here at Blundell Park.
They went 25 games, Grimsby, during the season without a win. Incredible that it's going to come down to the final day. Let's go to Fratton Park. Of course, their league status has gone. Portsmouth no longer Premier League side, but they did secure a win, their first in 7 games. Andy Barwell.
Life is rarely dull at Fratton Park. Only 1 goal in 3 previous Premier League meetings between these two sides. But Portsmouth have completed the double over Wolves this season with a 3-1 victory this afternoon. Aruna Dindan, John Utaka and Michael Brown were the Portsmouth scorers. Kevin Doyle with the Wolves goal. Pompey took off Dindan and Aaron McQuain, no doubt to protect them for the FA Cup final in a fortnight's time. Keeper David James was superb today. Wolves boss Mick McCarthy had promised that his team wouldn't be in the holiday mode. Certainly wasn't a typical performance from his side this afternoon. Portsmouth 3, Wolves 1.
And you can see there, Charlton have done it. They've beaten Leeds United at the Valley. They've stopped another promotion party there. Of course, Norwich had their own promotion party at the Valley. They didn't want to see another one. And they, incredibly now, are in with a chance of that second spot themselves, John Anderson.
Well, it's all transformed now thanks to the moment here, 3 minutes from time, when Charlton substitute Akpo Sodja rose to meet a cross. His header deflected in off the head of Leeds midfielder Neil Kilkenny and into the roof of the net, to the disbelief and dismay of the visiting fans. If my maths is correct, Leeds will still be promoted next weekend if they can beat Bristol Rovers at Elland Road. But today, you'd have to say Charlton deserved it. They were much the better team in the second half after an even first period. But even after that goal had gone in, it took a wonder save from Darren Randolph to deny Jermaine Beckford what would have been a priceless point for Leeds. But the battle rumbles on. Leeds are still favourites to go up alongside Norwich, but they've made it hard for themselves. Charlton Athletic 1, Leeds United 0.
And they retain that very poor record, Leeds, against teams in the top 6. And you can see there, Bristol Rovers have lost to Norwich, 3-0 champions of the division. Let's go, though, to Tranmere, Prenton Park, Tranmere against Millwall. And this is a match, really, which has helped shape everything at the top, Alan Biggs, and has done Tranmere no harm either.
Absolutely, it shaped the picture at the bottom as well. Defeat could have been terminal for Tranmere's hopes of staying in League One. They haven't been in the bottom division for 21 years. They've beaten Millwall by 2-0. A big, bold, brave performance from them. All credit to them. Too easy to say that Millwall have fallen short, which they have today, particularly in front of goal. Tranmere in the end were worthy winners. They sneaked it in the first half. Ian Thomas-Moore with a debatable penalty before the break. Then, no question, Andy Robinson with a screamer of a goal from 25 yards sealed it in the second half. Robinson is on loan with Tranmere from Leeds United. What a story. I think he might get paid twice this month. Tranmere 2, Millwall 0.
Incredible story there, and all the permutations. If you were with us at the beginning this afternoon, we explained everything that could happen. Only one thing has happened for certain, and that's at the Matchroom Stadium in England anyway. We'll update you on Scotland in a moment. Alex Gordon-Martin can tell us. It's sad news.
Yes, Gabby, it's confirmed. It's finished Leyton Orient 2, Wycombe 0, and Wycombe drop out of League One. Ryan Jarvis and Scott McLeish with the second half strikes to end Wycombe's brave, belated fight to stay in the division. With so much at stake, it was never likely to be a classic, but both sides' anxiety the main obstacle to any fluent play. Gareth Ainsworth was more than wasteful with the best chance of the first half, heading over from 6 yards, but it was all hands to the pump at the start of the second. Wave after wave of Wycombe attack impressively absorbed by the home side, and just after Matt Phillips forced a breathtaking save from Jamie Jones, Wycombe were dealt a killer blow. A fine finish by Ryan Jarvis from 12 yards, then in injury time Scott McLeish side-footed home to ram the nail into Wycombe's coffin. Orient guaranteed their place in the division. It's finished Leyton Orient 2, Wycombe 0.
OK, it's time now to get the full classified results with Tim Gudgin.
And first, the Barclays Premier. Birmingham City 2, Burnley 1. Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 1. Portsmouth 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Stoke City 0, Everton 0. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Bolton Wanderers 0. In Coca-Cola League 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Norwich City 3. Carlisle United 1, Walsall 1. Charlton Athletic 1, Leeds United 0. Gillingham 2, Southampton 1. I think we've gone a bit prematurely there. We haven't finished League 1. OK, we'll carry on with League 2. Accrington Stanley 2, Chesterfield 0. AFC Bournemouth 4, Port Vale 0. Aldershot Town 3, Lincoln City 1. Bradford City 2, Northampton Town 0. Bury 0, Torquay United 3. Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Hereford United 1. Grimsby Town 2, Barnet 0. Macclesfield Town 0, Darlington 2. Notts County 5, Cheltenham Town 0. Rochdale 1, Burton Albion 2. Rotherham United 0, Crewe Alexandra 0. And Shrewsbury Town 2, Morecambe 3. In the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 1, Hamilton Academical 3. Celtic 4, Motherwell 0. Dundee United 1, Rangers 2. Falkirk 1, St Mirren 1. Hibernian 1, Hearts 2. Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 2. In the Arnbury Scottish Division 1, Airdrie United 0, Dunfermline Athletic 1. Greenock Morton 2, Ayr United 1. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Dundee 0. Partick Thistle 1, Queen of the South 0. Wraith Rovers 4, Ross County 1. Scottish Div 2, Alloa Athletic 3, Cowdenbeath 1. Arbroath 2, East Fife 2. Brechin City 1, Stirling Albion 1. Clyde 4, Dumbarton 2. Stenhousemuir 1, Peterhead 1. And Scots Div 3, Albion Rovers 0, Stranraer 0. Annan Athletic 0, Berwick Rangers 1. Elgin City 5, Montrose 2. Forfar Athletic 1, Queen's Park 1. And Livingston 1, East Stirlingshire 0. Now let's reprise Coca-Cola League 1, shall we? Bristol Rovers 0, Norwich City 3, Carlisle United 1, Walsall 1, Charlton Athletic 1, Leeds United 0, Gillingham 2, Southampton 1, Hartlepool United 1, Exeter City 1, Huddersfield Town 2, Colchester United 1, Leyton Orient 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Milton Keynes Dons 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Southend United 2, Stockport County 1, Swindon Town 3, Brentford 2 is the latest score, Tranmere Rovers 2, Millwall 0, and Yeovil Town 3, Oldham Athletic 0.
Let's have a little look then at the table, starting with the Premier League. The race for fourth spot hots up as wins for both Tottenham and Manchester City puts even more importance on their clash at the City of Manchester Stadium on Wednesday. Chelsea can win the title tomorrow if they beat Liverpool and Manchester United fail to beat Sunderland. At the bottom, Portsmouth are bowing out of the Premier League with pride. Hull will join them and Burnley in the Championship next season if West Ham avoid defeat against Fulham tomorrow. To League One, any one of 5 teams could still earn automatic promotion behind the champions Norwich. Defeats for Leeds and Millwall have given hope to Swindon, Charlton and Huddersfield. Millwall host Swindon next weekend on the final day of the season. At the bottom, Wycombe have been relegated back to League Two after only one season. Stockport and Southend were already down, of course. Tranmere remain in the bottom 4 but will go into their final fixture knowing they can still avoid relegation at the expense of either Exeter or Gillingham. League Two, champions Notts County enjoyed their promotion party at Meadow Lane by thumping Cheltenham. Morecambe and Dagenham and Redbridge move into the playoff places with just 1 week to go. Grimsby's 99-year tenure at the bottom in the Football League lasts for just another week. They staved off relegation with a vital win over their rivals, Barnet. Let's have a little look at the SPL. Champions Rangers remain 11 points clear of Celtic after both sides won this afternoon. Dundee United assured of European football next season, while 3 teams are in contention for the remaining qualification spot. Falkirk remain bottom, but they're level now on points with Kilmarnock. St Mirren are not yet safe. Scottish First Division, champions Inverness went up in style, beating second place Dundee. Ayr are relegated to the second division following their failure to beat Greenock Morton. And the Scottish Second Division, Stirling Albion are the champions. Just a point this afternoon was enough to see off the challenge of Alloa on goal difference. A relegated Clyde ended the season with a rare victory. And Livingston's promotion in Division 3 was secured long ago. They finished 15 points clear of runners-up Forfar. And I can now bring you the full-time result at the county ground. It finished 3-2 with 14, that's 4 minutes stoppage time played there at Swindon. Can clinch automatic promotion next team, one of 4 teams in the hunt in League One, and you can see how that unfolds, of course, with us here next week on the Red Button and on BBC One. But here's what's coming up for you football-wise later on. Match of the day tonight at 10:15 on BBC One. All the goals, all the action, and plenty of good goals to see there and great saves. Gary, Allen and Loro in charge there. The Football League show follows that at 11:25 with Manish on BBC One. And then tomorrow, the end is nigh for Sheffield Wednesday or Crystal Palace. They're battling it out at Hillsborough. If the Owls don't win, it's simple. They'll be in League One next season. That's at 12:40, BBC One and BBC HD. Match of the day 2 tomorrow night has the drama of the Premier League title race for you. Their highlights: Liverpool, Chelsea, of course, and Sunderland, Manchester United. That's on BBC One, just to mark your card, at 10:25 because of the World Championship Snooker final on BBC Two. Wow, what an afternoon.
What an afternoon as well, absolutely.
One thing decided, Aston Villa won't be in the Champions League next season.
Yeah, and a very, very interesting things to watch today. Martin Fulop survives the game at Eastlands. It was a very, very nervy game for him, but he comes through. Man City win. Sets up the game on Wednesday against Tottenham Hotspur. It looks like winner takes all in that game. And the big issue, 2 stars at White Hart Lane today, Tom Huddleston's goal and the ball boy. Watch match of the day.
Man City, Tottenham Wednesday night, you've just mentioned there, but Martin, you know, a draw takes it all down to the final day, obviously, and the way these two are playing at the moment, it's hard to put a piece of paper between them, isn't it?
Well, at times today, Man City playing fantastic football, those 3 players at the top of their team, you know, Bellamy, Tevez and Adebayor, but Mancini, still with his scarf on, still hasn't removed it. We were sweating on the sofa, but not him, apparently. The keeper was all over the place. Gomez going into that game for Tottenham has also got a groin injury. Yeah. So it all moves, the sideshow all moves to Man City next Wednesday.
And, of course, tomorrow it's the battle for the title. I'll talk to you a bit more about that on the Reg button. Your moment of the day, briefly?
The ball boy at White Hart Lane. Magic moment.
Any football moments, Martin?
Not really, no, but the ball boy was
We'll talk to you about it on the Red button. That's where we're continuing now and online. But from all of us here, from Garth, Martin and me, have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.